All right, I want to talk today about unlocking the joints, and this is a really interesting thing that I discovered after researching how our body does balance. And it turns out that when we stand straight like this, there's actually a natural sway to our bodies called postural sway. So our body's actually doing something like this all the time, but what your brain is doing is just constantly controlling every part of your body, all the joints and everything else, to counteract that sway and to balance you and to keep you upright. Part of that is that we tend to lock our joints. So if we're going to stand around, let's say we're waiting in line at the grocery store, we don't want to look like this at the grocery store, right? So everybody, what they're doing is subconsciously controlling all their joints. So my joints at the hips from now are locked, which means I don't sway. See, I'm not swaying anymore. And that's because I'm gripping like this. Now, I'm not gripping with a lot of strength. You don't need a lot of strength to control the sway. You need a tiny bit of strength. But that's always on for most people, right? So most people are not standing in line at the grocery store looking like this. But for martial arts, we actually want this. We want to unlock our joints so they start to have natural sway and natural swivel, and they're completely mobile. And I think it's a combination of doing exercises. For example, if you study Wing Chun like I do, then we have all this stuff. Actually, look at what this form is doing. Open the joints, close the joints. That's 2 femur rotations that you're getting for every time you do Sunim Tao, right there, boom, boom. And then when you're training here, you are training your balance. So you're actually doing all this Sunim Tao work while sitting on top of 2 joints that should be actually mobile, which is very interesting. And then of course you get into Chum Kiu, even more so. You get all this stuff. Look at all this. It's showing you how to create rotation in your joints, in your Chum Kiu, right? You're doing all this. If you do Tai Chi, cloud hands, all that stuff, opening, closing quads, it's all the same. It's all about getting those joints mobile. So after a while, you can relax them, okay? And for me, it took a long time to understand this. Maybe some people get it sooner. But if you let go of these joints, meaning you sink the weight goes into here, into your knees. There's a place where your knees double bounce, which is that soft, springy part of your knee. If you do that and let this go, you will start to swivel like this. Now, this level of swivel, I'm exaggerating it right now, but I'm actually not doing, mostly this is just my body naturally swaying back and forth. And so what you can do is take a weight. I have here a spring arm that creates a pressure. Start to take that weight into the swiveling joints and try to find a place where everything's moving. If you do it right, then you will not feel the pressure stuck in your shoulder. So a lot of people have a problem with Bong Sao because they're holding their weight. This and this is locked. And this is pressing into my shoulder. And right away it's making my shoulder uncomfortable. So you have to find the space in your shoulder so that it can rotate. And you have to find the same thing in your hips. When you start to rotate like this, then any amount of pressure that's applied to you immediately rolls off. It's either rolling off here, this is my Tan Sao, or it's rolling off here into my Bong Sao. So it's not going here into my body. It's not going into my center. It's not affecting my shoulder because I'm allowing everything to swivel. And that's the feeling we're trying to find. Another good way to do it is to find a big heavy bag, like in a boxing gym. I actually do this with maybe like a 75-pound ball bag, and I will put my arm up like this to it and let it find a place where it can balance inside of my shoulder socket. At first it was very challenging. I felt a lot of pressure here, but after a while you realize that this is a ball and socket joint and that it has a rotation, and if you let it rotate and let go of that tension in there, then you can actually balance that weight on that joint and let that flow all the way to your legs. And every joint is taking a part of that weight, taking some of that compression, and most importantly, you're mobile, so you're constantly letting it move you around. And this is how you turn this into fighting applications, because when you're doing Chi Sao or anything like that, you got the center line here, and as soon as your opponent wants to pressure you this way, you just let them, and you have an opening, or here. But you always have an opening, as long as you are able to react to this. The problem, of course, that when you start fighting, you go into fight or flight mode and things will start to squeeze. So it's very important to train this slowly in a safe condition with a partner that's not going to hurt you, so that you can find all this stuff and you can continue to improve your balance and your mobility.